Let's go. JavaScript functions and events. Let's look at the meaning of the word event. Events are occurrences. They are happenings. Like when you say an event occurred, it means that you are referring to something that that happened. And that is what an event is in JavaScript. An event is an occurrence. What event allows us to do is that it allows us to track the activities of our users. You know what your users are doing per time. So what you want to do is you want to say, if this happened, then let this happen. If this happened, for instance, you want to say, if the user clicks on this, display A. If the user clicks on this, display C. Meaning that you are tracking occurrences on your page. You are tracking what happens. You are monitoring what is happening on your page. When this happens, then this is what I want to do. Are we getting it? Please, are we getting it?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. So we are going to be using event to track occurrences on our page, things that happen on our page. Let's see how to write them. We have two broad classes of events. We have the mouse events and the key events. Mouse events, key events. Mouse events are those things that you do with your mouse. Key events are those things you do with the keys of the keyboard. So, under the mouse event, some of those things we do with mouse events is that we click with it. We double click with it. Double click. We move the mouse. Under key event, we press the key. We release the key. Like, I can press the key, then I can release the key, that key that I pressed. So we're going to see some other things as we go on. We understand this better. Let's go straight to using these things. Now, this is the theoretical part. Now, let's go to the practical part. I'll create a button. Now, I want to, this is a button. Let's say click me. Let's run it on browser. So this is my button. I want a situation whereby when the user clicks on this button, I want to display 7. So I will come here and say I will add an event on click. Event starts with on, then the name of the event. So if I come here and I type on, look at something, you will see many events. There are a lot of events here. Event starts with on, then the name of the event you want to use. In this case, I want to use the click event. That is, when the user clicks on this button, what do I want to do? So maybe I want to alert 7. I will say alert 7. So when the user clicks on this now, it will alert 7. If I close this and the user clicks on it again, it will alert 7. If I click on it again, it will alert 7. Any question? Let's add another event. I can create a div and style it. Style, background color, let's say red, text color. Sir.
Hello, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. I have a question, sir.
Yes, sir.
The button the click me alert 7.
Yes, sir.
I discovered that it's not within the JavaScript tag. Does that matter?
Okay. Thanks for the observation, sir. Let me quickly talk about this. We have inline. There are 3 ways you can write JavaScript. Inline JavaScript.
Okay.
Internal JavaScript. Then external JavaScript.
Just like CSS.
Yes, sir. So the one we are using, the
Okay.
one we've been using all this while has been internal,
Okay.
but the one here is inline.
Okay.
Do you get it, sir?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So we are still going to shift from this inline back to internal. But
Okay.
for now, I want us to take it gradually. Thanks for the
Okay,
question.
sir.
So I should have mentioned this. So this is the, okay, let's add events to this. I can say on double click, or I can use a mouse enter. That is, immediately my mouse enters into this div. Then what do I want to do? Maybe I can say alert Taiwan. Oops, alert Taiwan. So immediately my mouse enters into this, it will alert Taiwan. Of course, you know I can't use double quotes here, right? Because if I use double quotes, there will be a problem. It will assume that this double quote will assume that I'm closing this one. So since this is double quote, this one needs to be single quote. Since this is a string, do you get?
Okay.
Except if you are going to change this to single quotes.
Okay, sir.
So for that, we don't want a situation whereby the reason we are using single quotes is we don't want a situation whereby it will assume that we are closing this. So what we want to do is whenever my mouse enters into this div, then alert style. Let me just put some text so that the div may be visible. Here's my div. Let me just put, here is my div. So let's go to the browser and see the results. So I don't need to click. My mouse just needs to enter. Good. I don't need to click. Once my mouse enters this, then we have it. We have other events on double click, which is DBL click. On double click, maybe alert, let's say 50. Click me button, let me just use button. So if I click on these ones, it's not going to display it, but if I double click on it, then it will display it. So that is DBL click. We have a mouse enter, a mouse leave. A mouse leave means when your mouse is about to leave. You know, enter is when your mouse is about to enter. Mouse leave is I'm already inside that container. I want to leave. Then it will do that for me. Now you will notice this in different websites that when you're about to leave a website, it might tell you maybe, okay, for instance, if I'm typing, let's say there's an input on your website, and I'm typing inside that input, but I'm yet to submit it. I'm yet to submit my input. If I try to leave, let's say it's on Twitter now. If I'm typing a tweet, after typing, if I refuse to tweet it, and I'm about to leave that page, it will quickly tell me that, do you want to delete or save as draft? I don't know if you observe
Yes,
it.
that's true.
That's an event. What it's doing is that it's tracking what you are doing. It's realized that, oh, you're about to leave this page. Then there's an event. An event has been attached that on page leave. Like if you're about to leave that page, then do this. Do you understand?
Yes, I understand the example.
So we have many events. Now we've looked at some of the mouse events. Let's look at key events. Key events are those things that you do with your keyboard. So how you have an input here, I'll just say input type text. Then I'll say on key up console log 4. On key up console log 4. So this will log 4 to the console when my key is up. So let's go to the console. So can you see 4 in the console now? Let me group things together. Okay, so let me continue typing here. So 4 has been displayed 48 times. The more I type inside this, the more this value increases. So each time I type here, it logs 4 to the console. Any question on that?
Each time
Yes, sir.
your hand touch a button and your hand leaves it,
Is that
which was which I said each time your hand leaves a button that you have pressed, it logs 4.
yes, sir. Each time this key comes back up, I will explain. As I type inside it, it will log this 4 to the console. Once I type any key on the keyboard, do we understand?
Yeah.
Let's look at on
Yeah.
key down. Then we'll now look at the difference between on key up and on key down. That will give us a better understanding of how this thing works. On key down. On key down will give us the same result as on key up. As I type inside this, any button, any key on the keyboard, it will log 4 to the console. Now, for now, both of them look alike, as though they are doing the same thing, but they are not. Let's look at the difference. Now, for the on key down, how will do something? I will refresh the page. I will press a key. My hand is still on that key. As you can see, the fact that that key is down, it keeps logging the 4 to the console. Are we getting it? My hand is on a key. I'm yet to release that key. So as long as that key is down, it will keep logging 4 to the console. Any question? I've released this now. Any question?
No question. It's
Let's look
clear.
at on key up. I will do the same thing now, but you will see a different result. I will press a key, but I'm yet to release that key. So meaning that key is not yet up. So it's yet to call on that console log 4. Do we get it?
Yes.
It's yet to call on console log 4 because that key is not up. But later I release it, it will be up. So it will call on console log 4. If I press another key, the key is still down, so it won't call on it. If I release it, it will log it to the console. So that's why you only have 2, because the key has only been up twice. Any question?
No question yet.
Then
It's
we have other key events, but on key up, on key down, we also see the on input. On input is like as you type inside it. This like is combining on key up and on key down together. Like as I type inside it. But most times you'll be using the two of them interchangeably. Most times. So, but then, let's now go to more interesting things. I've only been explaining events. I want to explain functions. On inputs, even though like as long as you fill these inputs, it's logging this to the console. Now we want to go to functions and see how interesting functions are. Hope you understand the key event and mouse events.
Yes, sir.
There are hundreds of them. Hundreds, like there are many. As you work on them, you will use some, but not all. You will use some and you will never use some. But don't worry, these are the basic ones. The most you'll be using the most is you'll be using this on click very well. You'll be using maybe on key up or on key down based on your preference. On key up or on key down, or you will see on input, any one of the three. Most time you'll be using this and either this or this or on key down. Most time you may not, in fact I doubt if you will be differentiating between on key up and on key down for most things you will be doing. So you'll be using this and any of these three for those things you will be doing, for most of those things you will be doing. But as time goes on, as you build bigger projects, you'll now be learning others along the line. Let's go to functions. Now in programming, we call something dry. I discussed this in our first stage, right? Don't repeat yourself. Now, how does this affect what you're about to do? Let's just bring 3 buttons and click. Then I'll say console log 7 times 8. I'll call this first. I'll call this second. I'll call this third. So we have 3 buttons here. And you will agree with me that the 3 buttons are doing the same thing, right? Abi now. Shawa Palumi.
Yes, sir.
Do you agree with
Yes,
me
sir, we
that
are with you, sir.
Okay, thank you, sir. Thank you, ma'am. Do you agree with me that the 3 buttons are doing the same thing?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
This will log 56, this will log 56, and this will also log 56. The 3 of them are doing the same thing. Let's run it and see it ourselves. So, I'll click on the first one, 56, click on the second one, 56, click on the third one, 56. The 3 of them are doing the same thing. But then, there is an issue. The issue is this. If I wake up one day and I want the 3 of them, I want to change this 8 to 2. Meaning I have to change it here, change it here, and change it here, right? If I want the 3 of them to,
Yes.
instead of saying 7 times 8 now, I want the 3 of them to do 7 times 2. Meaning I have to change it here, and change it here.
Yeah.
Now that is why the design principle is very important. Don't repeat yourself. You don't want this situation, because if we have 10, let's say 10 buttons that are doing the same thing. If we have 10 buttons that are doing the same thing, if I'm able to change 9 and I forget to change one of them, then that one will still be doing the 7 times 8. Meanwhile, I've successfully changed this to. So you don't want to use inline JavaScript. You want to move to internal JavaScript. Let's now see how to do that. Instead of putting this thing here, you are going to be creating a function and put it inside a function. A function is like a container that you call upon whenever you want to do something. You know, variables just store values, right? But a function is like it's storing, number one, a function allows you to store related things that work together. Related things that work together. Because along the line, you'll be doing a lot of things, and these things some of them they are meant to actually work together. Let's say if I want to put on a fan. Aha, good. I think that's very good. If you want to put on a fan, there are a lot of things that are embedded in a fan switch. A lot of things are inside it. But in order to make this thing easy, the electrician and all of that, they will just make a switch for you, so that all you need to do is just to turn it once. Once you turn it, those things that need to happen for the fan to roll will now happen immediately. But we know that it's not just a single thing that will happen. A lot of things will happen. But it makes it easy for me, because all I need to do is just to turn the fan, like just turn the switch. Sorry, turn the switch once. Immediately I turn the switch, then all those things that need to happen will now start happening at the background. Do you get what you are doing? If I need to put on, let's say I'm in a room and there's no light in the room. Now, if I need to put on the bulb, all I need to do is to touch the switch and press it, and boom, light will be on. But then, you will agree with me that a lot of things are happening at the background. so many things are happening at the background, but they've made it so easy such that all I need to do is just to press the switch once, and those things that need to happen will now start happening. But imagine I need to start doing them one after the other. I need to start doing all those things. Like, it's going to be tedious. But all you need to do is do a single thing, and that single thing will now call on other things. Oh yeah, you should happen next. After you should happen next. After you should happen next. I don't know if you get this explanation. Hello, class.
Yeah, yes.
Please, I just want to be sure if you are getting me, if you are following.
Yes, sir. Sorry.
Yes, sir. I get all
Yeah.
of that.
Are we lost?
Yes, sir. We get you. No, not at all.
Okay, all right, sir. So those things that need to be happened, like those that need to work together, they will be grouped together as one function, just like a switch. That switch that we are pressing is just the function, but other things that need to happen will now be embedded inside that function, so that all you need to do is to call on that single function, and all other things that need to happen will now start happening for you to get your results.
Okay.
So we want to see how to create a function in JavaScript. Function allows you to group related items together. One, it also helps us to solve this problem of dry. Don't repeat yourself that we have here. So for now, let's create a function. So to create a function, first thing is you need to write the function keyword. This tells JavaScript that I am about to create a function. Next, you put the name of your function. You can call it any name, but the name of your function follows the same rules that guide variable declaration. It must not be a keyword. It must not start with a number. It must not have special characters except dollar and underscore. All those rules that guide variable declaration also guide your function. So I can give it anything. I can call it my func. I think this is a common name in the world of JavaScript or programming generally. So my func, I can call it anything. I can call this function Taiwo or anything. Next, you put parentheses at the front of that function. This is very important. I come again. Number one, you write the function keyword. Number two, the name of your function. When you are done with the name, you put parentheses after it. Then lastly, you put a curly braces. You put a curly braces. Whatever you want to do will now be inside this function. So let's say I want to alert good morning. For now, I will comment. We are coming back to these codes, but let's do something. I want to create a button. So I want to say remember when the user clicks on this button, I want to alert good morning. You know, we'll be doing it like this. Click alert good morning, and I can say click me. So we're doing it like this. But I want to stop using this inline. I want to move to an internal. So I will remove this from here. Next is, whenever a user clicks on this button, I want you to do whatever we have inside this function. The beauty of function is that you can have a lot of codes. Maybe after it alerts good morning, you still want it to say, alert, how are you doing? Something like this. Since good morning and hope you slept well. We can do something like this. Hope you slept well. So these two, of course, I think they work together. When you give someone good morning, maybe the next question should be, hope you slept well. So I can say, let me change the name of this function from Taiwo to greet. So whenever I call on function greet, I want to say good morning, and I will say hope you slept well. Are we getting it? Whenever I call on this function called
Yes, sir.
greet, yes, sir. Whenever I call on this function called greet, I want to say good morning, and I want to say hope you slept well. Next, if I go to the browser, that's how function. What makes a function interesting? I will not see these things on the browser. They will not be displayed. That's because a function needs to be called upon for it to do what we have inside it. If I run it on the browser, I will not see good morning and I will not see hope you slept well. I will just see a blank page and nothing will happen, like nothing. But I want to show you that when the user now clicks on this button, I want to say do what we have inside this function. So let's now link this button with this function. And to link them together, all you need to do is to write the name of the function here. And you put parentheses after it. I come again. To link them together, just put the name of the function and put parentheses after it. What we are just saying is whenever a user clicks on this button, do whatever we have inside this function. So it will alert good morning, then it will alert hope you slept well. So let's go to the browser and see the results. Good morning, hope you slept well. Click again. Good morning, hope you slept well. Click again. Good morning, hope you slept well. So we've been able to use a function to group related things together. So this can have hundred lines of code inside this function. But note that if you don't call on a function, the codes inside that function will not be executed. So this is where you are calling on that function. If this is not there, then the codes inside this place will not be executed. Can we move on?
Yes, that's clear.
Okay. Please,
Yes,
if
sir.
you don't get this, please tell me. Maybe if I show us the assignment I plan giving us after this class, maybe you will be able to tell me if you don't get anything. We are building a calculator. That's the assignment. You are building a calculator as an assignment after this class. So please, it's very important that you understand every bit of this explanation so that you'll be able to get the assignments done. Now, let's proceed. Remember I said you can also use a function for this so that you don't repeat yourself. So let's see how we can make use of the function to do this. So what I want to do is here is whenever you click on it, log this to the console. But instead of putting it here, I will remove this. I will remove this. I'll remove this. So I'll create a new function. I'll call this maybe display number. Display number. So what this function is going to do is to console log 7 times 2. Whatever you want to do will be inside that function. So what I want to do is, I now want to link them with this. All I will do is just put the name of the function here. So when I click on this button, it will call on this function, run the codes inside that function. So meaning that it will log 14 to the console. That's 7 times 2. Same thing if I click on this, same thing if I click on this. So 14, 14, 14. So if I wake up tomorrow and I want this to be 8, all I need to do is just to change it here alone. So whenever I change it here, the three of them the changes will be it's going to affect the three of them because the three of them are calling on this function. I hope you understand. Do we get it?
Yes, sir.
Unlike our initial example when we had to change it in 3 places, now I only need to change it at a single place, and later I did that, it will reflect the changes. Now,
hello, sir.
What? Yes, sir.
Yes, please, sir. I seem not to understand this console.log. As in,
console log is an
what does it? Okay, sir.
Yes, sir. Console log is an output command that will just log a value to the console. It will just send it to this place.
Okay.
It's mainly meant for debugging, not for users to come here to see.
Okay.
It's not for users.
Okay. Okay, sir.
We mainly use this when we are debugging code or building applications like this.
Okay.
So let's now do one or two things together using everything we've learned so far. So I want to do a little thing with us. I will create a big button. I will style it so that it's going to be big. I will say width. I'll say width is, let's say, 100 pixel. I'll say height is, let's say, 100 pixel. I'll put no inside it. So when a user clicks on the button, I want to change this no to yes. So I'll say click. I can call on a function. I can say change button. So meaning that I have to create a function called change btn Abby. So let's create a function together. I hope you understand what we are doing.
Yes, yes.
So when I click on this button, if you call on a function called change btn, it means we need to create a function called change btn. Let's create the function together. Function change btn. So when the user clicks on this button, it's going to do the codes inside this function. So what is it going to do? Let's give this button an ID. I can call it btn. So I come here, I'll now say btn dot inner text. Help me to change it to yes. That's all. So what happens is this: when the user clicks on this button, if you call on this function called change btn and run the codes there, that means this will call on the ID of that button, which is this, and it will change the inner text to yes. Do you understand what you are doing?
Yes, yes. So far.
So when I click on this will change to yes. Let's do another thing together. Next, I want to have a div. Let me give this div an ID called results. Then I want to say, whenever I click on this button, get whatever is inside this div, any value there. Sorry, don't let us do that. We'll come back to that. Let's take this.
You said something.
You said?
Well, we could not hear you. You said something after you talked about.
Yes, I said. Wait. Give me.
Get this input card. Well, good.
Let's give this an ID. Let's say this ID is, I can call it IMP. So what we want to do is this: whenever the user clicks on this button,
it's kind of breaking. I'm not sure.
You want to get
if it's
whatever the user types inside this input. You want to multiply it by 2 and put the result inside this div. Again, the user will come to this input, type some things, or type a number. Let's make it input type number. The user will come here, type a number, then clicks on this button. You notice the user clicks on this button. You will get whatever the user types here, multiply it by 2 and put the result here. Do we get what you're about to do now?
Yes, we are following.
Okay, so let's style this one. You can say background color yellow or blue, and the color of the text you can set it to yellow. So let's go to the changes. Since you are doing something else now, you can say multiply num. Of course, let the name of your function explain what the function is doing. You can say multiply.
I don't know if this is happening to me alone. At some point,
You said
your voice goes down. I don't know if I'm the only one that loses your voice at some point. It will go up and go up.
Hello, Mr. Jacob.
Yes, at some point when you talk, it will go low and I will not hear again. If you speak again,
Uh,
like
please, others, please, do we have the same issue?
Yes, sir. Same
Both of
here.
Wow.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Uh, if it occurs again, just let me know.
All
it's
right.
alright.
So what we want to do is that when the user clicks on this button, you want to get whatever the user types inside this input. You want to multiply it by 2 and put the result in this div. I hope you understand the task at hand.
Yes.
So we've added an ID to this, an ID to this, and maybe an ID to this. We may not necessarily need this one anyway, but we've added an ID to the 3 of them. Next, let's get a function called multiply num. So I'll come here and say function multiply num. First is you want to get whatever the user types inside this input. So of course, to get what the user types inside that input, what do?
We use the ID to
Okay, ID dot what?
id.inner HTML or the inner test. Sorry.
Really? ID dot
If it's
what?
an input.
Add dot value.
Dot value. Thank you, man.
Yes,
ID
sorry.
dot value. Remember, an input is an editable container.
Input. Yeah, editable
An input is
content.
an editable container. So you use the dot value. So let's come here and say imp dot value. Just to get the value. Let's take it step by step. Let's first alert this. So the ID is imp. I will cut this and make it down so that we can see everything together. Then I will call this function and place it at the top so that you can easily see all of everything together on a single page. You won't have to start scrolling and scrolling. So when I click on this button, it's called on this function. This function will alert what imp dot value, that is whatever the user types here. So of course there's nothing there, that's why you see an empty alert. But let me put a value there, 8. It will alert 8. If I put 10, it will alert 10. Next, I want to multiply it by 2. So I can say imp.value times 2. That is whatever the user, when you click on this button, whatever the user types inside this input, multiply it by 2. We are gradually moving forward. Can we proceed?
Yes, we can.
Okay. Finally,
It's just that you carried your code.
it's just that
One is trying to carefully study it.
oh
Well,
okay.
it's still clear anyway. It's just to grab it very well. But it's clear. It's clear.
Okay. Next is you now want to put the result inside this div. To put the result in this div, of course you are not using alerts now. You will call on the ID of that div, which is results dot inner text. You now say is this. So the ID dot inner text equals to imp dot value times 2. I hope you understand what you're doing now. Multiply imp dot value, multiply it by 2, and place the results inside this div called results. So a So we can make this, although we are done with what we want to do, but you can still make it much better or cleaner to it. You can create a variable and call it maybe user input. Variable user input equals to this. You can now say user input times 2. So whenever you click on this, it will come here, pick the user input dot value, like whatever the user types here, and store it as the value of variable user input. So you can now say user input times 2 because this will still work. You can do it like this. Any question on this?
No question.
Okay.
No question yet.
Now class work. Class work. What I want you to do is there will be an input here. Then there will be another input here. Then there will be a button called, I can just say compute. So when the user clicks on this compute, you want to get whatever is inside this place, multiply it with whatever is inside this place, and place the result in this div. Do we get it? This is an input. Let me use a placeholder. First input. So when the user clicks on this button, you want to get whatever the user types here, multiply it with whatever the user types here, and place the result inside this div. The user will type a number. Let's say if I type 6 here, and I type 9 here, and I click on compute, then 54 should be displayed inside the div. Hope you understand what you're about to do. Show you what.
Yeah. Okay,
So
no.
please put me to. I don't know what to do. Put me to.
Okay. Mr. Kunu Lawal, Mr. Woye Bamidele,
You say?
Miss Moji Solamokinde.
Put me to, or you can type it and send it to me on WhatsApp. If you can do it on your device now, or you can share your screen, please. If you're on your system, please share your screen. Like start. Henceforth, we
Please
do
take
more
us
of
back
class
to
work.
your VS Code
You said?
and your
Okay.
code so that we can see. Yes, just leave it there.
Tell me what to do. Please, henceforth, while coming to class, please ensure you come with your system because we'll be doing more of class work. Like I said, once you start JavaScript event and functions, we'll say more like you should be fully. I beg you in the name of God, please, every assignment I give you, do it. Do it. It will keep getting harder, like from this point forward. So if you don't do, if I explain to you like this, you will understand it. But truth is, you will not know it. You will only assume you know it. But it is in the process of doing the assignment that you will know those things that you know. That's when you know whether you really know it or not. So please try to do all assignments. I mean all of them. Please. If you keep getting harder and harder, so if you don't do one assignment and you skip it, you overlook it, you go to the next one, you overlook it. I tell you, along the line, you would have been lost in the training, but maybe you will just be coming to class alone. Please, I beg you. Please. Do it, push it to Git. Send the link to us. We want to see it. Do it. Push it to Git. Send the link to us. We want to see. In fact, for now, we'll be staying at functions till we all know it. So when we get functions very, very, very well, then I'll move to the next thing. But we are going to pause and functions. We'll come here, do tasks, a lot of tasks on it, then when we get it, we move forward again. Please, who can help us? Who can help us? Please, who can help us?
Sir, I think we have to go through
Sir?
the class again. As in, I say personally, I will have to go through it again to actually understand it better.
Okay.
That's
Okay.
and you have to go through the explanation again, and then
Let's do something. If this is what you're going to do. I'll give us this as assignment. As assignment. Then, what I want us to do is, when the user types here and types another number here, then clicks on this button, get whatever the user types inside this first one, multiply it with whatever the user types here, and put the result here. Though I'm not good, there are some things I will never rush in JavaScript. Function is one of them because it's very, very crucial. So whatever time it will take us to get it, I'm ready to sacrifice it. We can rush some other part, but this is not one of them. It's not.
Sadly, sir, my computer went off now. I just had to join with my phone, and I was working
No, what
on
I'm
the
saying is this. I gave us a classwork to do, but we are not attempting it, and I'm not ready to do the solution for us.
I was attempting it before my own computer went off.
Okay. So do you want to attempt this now, sir?
I'm currently connected to my phone, so I understand that you are giving us as an assignment, right?
Okay, please do it. Let's do it as assignments.
That's all right.
Submit it, please. I'm begging us. Please submit it. I'm out for you, deal. Don't say it's simple. Do it.
Okay.
Do it.
Okay.
Then in our next class, we continue under functions. Any question? Although I had an assignment in mind before coming, but then it is very important that we take things step by step till we get to where we are going to. Any question? So let's do a quick summary of today's class. We talked about events. Events are occurrences on our page. So, and we said there are two big categories of events. We have the key event and the mouse event. So, and event starts with on. So, depending on the on you want to use, you can say on mouse leave. That is when your mouse leave this button, what do you want to do? So, whatever you want to do, you can put it here. If you want to use inline JavaScript, but I'm against inline JavaScript. It's not a good practice. Instead, you use the internal JavaScript. And to use the internal JavaScript, you bring in functions. So when your mouse leaves, what do I want to do? I want to call on a function. So to create a function, you write the function keyword, then the name of the function name, then you put parentheses after it, then curly braces. You've created a function. Next, you want to hook this function with this button. But before then, you want to write the body of the function. And what do I want to do? Maybe I want it to alert form. So each time anybody calls on this function, it will alert form. So next is I want to connect it to this button so that when the user clicks on, when the mouse leaves this button, it will alert form. So I'll put the name of the function. Oh, sorry. Then you put parentheses after it. So whenever the mouse leaves this, it will call on this function and alert for. Then we didn't I save it? I'm coming. I think I did not save this. Okay, hello, this is hello. So when my mouse leaves, it will alert for. Now, next is then I proceeded to show us key events. Key events are those things that you can do with your keyboard. You can key up and key down on inputs, and I said you will get to know some the remaining as you progress. Then next, I showed us how you can now do more with this. That you can use it to get value from inputs. Then after getting value from inputs, you can also use it to put values in containers, maybe a div or whatever you want to do. Then I gave us an assignment. Any question?
No question. No question.
Okay. So please welcome for the next class. Please, if you can come with your system so that you can share your screen. I'll be giving us class of, like I said, henceforth like henceforth it be classwork assignment. Please have a lovely night's rest. Let me stop recording. I want to have some conversation with us.